Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and happy new month and happy independence to us in case you are a Nigerian. So the last update about Twist of Fate, Rhea tells everyone that Prachi is pregnant for Siddharth and Prachi slapped Rhea in the process and Pallavi supported Prachi against Rhea. Let's continue. Prachi comes to Rambro's car and sits. Rambro asks if Prachi really wants to do the DNA test because he doesn't want to do it. Prachi asks Rambro to support her for her peace. Shahana and Aryan sit in the car. Shahana says everyone trusts Prachi. Prachi says except Rhea. Rambro says to Prachi that let Rhea do whatever she wants. Prachi says to Rambro that Rhea is collecting proofs against us. Someone is helping her. Prachi says this DNA is very important and she tells Rambro that she is grateful to him for trusting her. She says, I will not bear it if anyone point finger at our baby. Shahana and Aryan says to Prachi that they will not also bear it if anyone point a finger at Prachi's baby. Rambro asks Aryan where did he go. Aryan says I had gone to sort out Millie and her boyfriend's fight. Rambro says to Aryan that Millie is your girlfriend. Aryan says Millie is not a marriage type girlfriend and says she is just for fun. Shahana says I felt it that how can Aryan have a girlfriend? Aryan asks what do you mean? Shahana says you will feel bad. Aryan asks what do you mean? Rambro and Prachi smiles. Rhea thinks that I shouldn't have dragged the matter. Everything will be in Prachi's favor now if the DNA test happens. Pallavi calls Mahua and asks her to go to the market and buy fresh fruit. Mahua goes. Pallavi asks Rhea if Siddharth's story was true. Rhea says you did not ask me in the night and you supported Prachi. Aliyah hears them and she asks Pallavi to trust Rhea. Pallavi says what do you think and says there should be a reason for trust. She asks Rhea why she doesn't do whatever she asks and then you complain that nobody talks in your favor. Grandma hears Pallavi, Aliyah and Rhea's conversation and Grandma sneaks accidentally. Everyone sees Grandma. Pallavi asks Grandma, do you need anything? Grandma says tea. Pallavi says Mahua has gone out. I will bring the tea. Pallavi asks Aliyah and Rhea to be careful and says the hair is going to be the opposite direction. Grandma hears them. Rambro and Prachi along with Shahana and Aryan reach the hospital. Shahana and Aryan fight with each other. Rambro says we are already late. Prachi sleeps and she gets the sprain in her foot. Rambro lifted Prachi and says whenever you fall, I will lift you. Shahana gets hairy eyes and she gets emotional. Aryan asks why is she crying. Shahana says Rambro and Prachi has gone through a tough time. Aryan says all is well if ends well. Shahana sleeps. Aryan says I would help you and he lifts her. Aryan says you are very heavy. Shahana says make me get down. Aryan drops Shahana down and asks her not to beat him. Aryan runs away. Shahana says I will not leave Aryan. Vikram talked to someone on the phone. Grandma is standing outside the room and she recalls Pallavi and Aliyah's conversation. Vikram asks that why is Grandma sad? Grandma says nothing. Vikram says your face is sad. You are always energetic in the morning. Grandma says I am fine. Vikram asks Grandma to say it. Grandma says to Vikram that I heard Pallavi talking to Aliyah and Rhea and says I am doubtful if Pallavi is with Prachi or not. Vikram says it is our art fair and she asks Grandma to trust Pallavi. Vikram says Pallavi gets easily manipulated. Grandma says Rhea is manipulating Pallavi. Vikram says don't worry, Pallavi will stick to her words. And Vikram asks Grandma to trust him. At the hospital, Prachi comes out of the doctor's office and says the test is done. Rambro says let's leave. He holds Prachi's hand. Shahana and Aryan smiles. Aryan is about to call Rambro. Shahana keeps her hand on his mouth and says let them get lost in love. She says we should wait in the car. Aliyah comes to the goons and thinks to get respect from Rhea once the work is done. Aliyah asks where is Jita? She says she is Aliyah. Jita asks if you have brought the envelope. Aliyah gives the envelope and shows Siddharth's picture and says Siddharth is coming from an international flight and she asks the goon to kill Siddharth and making his death look like an accident. Jita says it will be done. Aryan and Shahana argue standing outside the car. Shahana asks how did Millie meet you? Aryan says Millie saw what you couldn't see. I am hot and handsome. Shahana says all guys are hot and handsome and says she ignores it. Aryan says I am different. Shahana asks Aryan to look in the mirror and says you will see 2 to 3 guys who are handsome. Aryan says to Shahana that when I leave from here, then you will cry. Rambo calls Aryan. Shahana steps on Aryan's feet. Rambo says Aryan is not picking the call. Prachi says Shahana might be fighting with him. Shahana says she hit him as he pulled her closer. Aryan says that the car was going and that was why he put Shahana closer. Shahana asks what about that SRK dialogue. Aryan says he is not interested in Shahana. Shahana calls him as Chimku. They started fighting. Prachi and Rambo comes there and try to stop their fight. Aryan says to Rambo that Shahana called him as Chimku and not handsome. Shahana says Aryan said I am not attractive. Rambo and Prachi says Aryan is handsome and Shahana is beautiful. They end their fight and sit in the car. Prachi asks how did this fight started. Shahana says Aryan pulled me closer. Rambo says oh, let's go. Vikram tells Grandma that he wants to lie his head on her lap. Grandma asks what happened to you. Vikram says he is worried and says that Pallavi changed suddenly as Prachi is pregnant and Pallavi loves Rambo's baby. Now Rhea has doubted about the pregnancy. Grandma says to Vikram that there's no need to doubt Prachi because Rambo is the father of her baby. Vikram says you are thinking wrong. Pallavi comes there and asks what happened. Grandma asks what is happening. Why did Pallavi ask Rhea if Siddharth is Prachi's baby's father? Grandma says to Pallavi that you blessed Prachi and you did a baby shower. Then when you have to ask Rhea if her claim is true, then why did you trust Prachi in the first place? Grandma asks Pallavi why is she playing double cat, and if she wanted to ask Rhea, then why did she act to trust Prachi? Pallavi ignores Grandma's question and says to Grandma that you had asked me to make tea, and she asks her to take the tea. Grandma says this is not the answer to my question. Pallavi asks what do you want to know? I am a human and few things make me doubtful. Pallavi says if I ask anything from Rhea, then what is wrong in that? Pallavi says to Grandma that I told Prachi that I trust her, but not like the way I trust Rambo. Pallavi says I love Prachi, but not like loving my son. Pallavi says even I can do mistakes and says if I do mistake, then I will correct it. Pallavi says after seeing so many proofs, then didn't your trust shaking up for once? Pallavi says to Grandma that Rhea said so much and she showed so many proofs against Prachi of the hotel. Grandma says then why did you show trust on Prachi? Pallavi says she doesn't want to give stress to Prachi because Prachi's pregnancy is complicated. Pallavi says she said that to give Prachi as security. Pallavi says to Grandma that if Prachi has lied about the real father of her baby, then I will not support her. Pallavi says Prachi will not be stressed as whatever happens with her will be the fruit of her karma. She says I have lied and not proud of it. She says a lie is not lie if it is said for someone's betterment. Pallavi says see my intention and not my lie. Vikram says to Grandma that Pallavi is not wrong. Grandma thinks that the matter is something else which she couldn't find out. At the hospital, Shahana asks Aryan to drive the car carefully and says a pregnant lady is sitting on the back seat. Rambo asks Aryan to continue driving. Prachi tells Rambo that he drives badly than Aryan. Prachi says that Rambo used to offer me lift, but I used to refuse, thinking that I will not get my life back if something happens. Rambo says to Prachi that you are saying this in front of the public. Prachi says they are family. The rain started. Prachi asks Aryan to stop the car and says she will visit the temple. Rambo says we will go to the temple together, where Grandma used to go. Shahana asks them why are they confusing Aryan. Prachi says I will go. Rambo gets down holding the umbrella and he asks Prachi to get down. He takes Prachi to visit the roadside temple. Aryan asks Shahana that why did Prachi go to the temple when she would have prayed sitting here. Prachi prays to God for the happiness and peace in her house, and she prays for good life for her baby, and she asks God to give Rambo to her in all her birth. Rambo asks, what did you ask for? Prachi says if I say it, then my prayers will not be fulfilled. The umbrella flies away. Rambo goes to get it. Shahana asks Aryan to take out another umbrella. Aryan asks where is it? Shahana says leave it. Prachi is enjoying the rain after a long time. Rambo and Prachi enjoys the rain together. They have a hug. Rambo lifts Prachi in his arms and turns her around. Aryan and Shahana looks at them. Aryan says they are kids. Shahana laughs. Rambo and Prachi splash water on each other. Rambo holds Prachi closer. They strike a romantic pose. Rambo holds Prachi's face. Prachi hugs Rambo. Rhea thinks that she made the hotel story up, but she did not think about the DNA and the hospital stuff. She thinks of what to do, as her plan is backfiring. She thinks that maybe a lie will come in front of everyone, and then she will be caught. Rhea says maybe everyone has come to know that I bribed the hotel staff Priya to lie. Rhea plucks the flower petals and says I will be saved and nothing will be known to anyone. I will be safe and nobody will know the truth. Rhea continues plucking the flower petals and she finds out that she will be caught as she plucks the last petal. Shahana, Aryan, Prachi and Rambo comes home drenched in water. Grandma asks them to go and change their clothes. Rambo says please hug me once. Grandma refuses and says she will slap him. Aryan says to Grandma that I am not drenched. Please hug me. Grandma says she will slap them both. Aryan and Shahana refuse to change as they are not drenched. Rambo goes to change. Prachi thanks Grandma for stopping her and says if you haven't stopped me, then I wouldn't have gotten so much love today. She is thankful to Grandma and she asks Grandma. Grandma says I did not stop you from leaving the house, but it was your happiness that stopped you. Grandma prays for Prachi's happiness and asks her to go and change. Prachi asks Grandma and she goes. Grandma thinks of Pallavi's words and she asks God to make sure that Prachi gets real happiness. Rambo covers Prachi with towel as she sneezes and Rambo takes her to the room. Shaina looks at them. Rambo wipes Prachi's hair with the towel and then uses the hair dryer to dry her hair. Shaina thinks that why is Rhea between them? Why is Rhea behind Rambo? Shaina says Rambo is drowned in Prachi's love fully and Rambo loves Prachi madly. Shaina wishes to get such a mad lover and she thinks to tell Aliyah about their romance. Shaina goes. Prachi says to Rambo that my hair is dry. Rambo asks Prachi to go and change. Prachi says first you should have told me to change. Why did you make me sit to dry my hair? And Prachi calls Rambo stupid. Rambo asks her to say it again. Rambo says next time I would ask you to change and then I will dry your hair. Prachi takes a sari from the cupboard. Rambo says nice choice. Prachi goes to change. Shaina comes to Aliyah and hears her talking to the goon, asking him to first do the work and then he will get the money. Aliyah asks the goon to send Siddharth's dead body picture to her and then he will get the full amount. Shaina hears Aliyah and she gets shocked. Aliyah says Shaina and says you did not hear me. She says I am talking to you as you are Rhea's friend. She says we have to support Rhea and we do not have to see the right or wrong. She says if Siddharth comes here and says that he has nothing to do with Prachi and the baby is of Rambo, then Rhea's future will be over. Aliyah asks Shaina to understand and says you should not tell anyone that I have hired a killer to kill Siddharth. Aliyah asks Shaina not to tell Rhea as well because she wants to do it secretly. Shaina looks at Aliyah in shock and says okay. Okay guys, please don't forget to like this video, share it, and I'll see you all again in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.